Have you ever heard of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau? It sounds so cool, doesn't it? Sounds like the stuff that used to go on behind the Iron Curtain. You know, they put these cool names up on these buildings that, you know, they're really centers of tyranny and torture and what have you. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yes, are you for that? Oh, yeah, I'm for consumer protection. Thank God there's one of these. We need regulations. What do? I don't know, but we need it. Anyway, the Washington Examiner, Richard Pollack, officials at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau are conducting a massive NSA-esque data mining project collecting account information on an estimated 991 million American credit card accounts, probably yours. This was learned at a congressional hearing yesterday that the CFPB, as it's known in Washington, that those officials are working with the Federal Housing Finance Agency on a second data mining effort, in addition to the one I just mentioned. This one focused on the 53 million residential mortgages taken out by Americans since 1998. Now, I want you to think about this. The IRS has your financial information. Now, this entity with access to banks and to your mortgage information is collecting your financial information. Under Obamacare, the federal government's collecting your health care information. Folks, what the hell for? Why are they doing all this? And then there's the NSA screwing around with phone numbers. We're not the terrorists, folks. We're the citizens. Every one of these damn people work for us. We pay their salaries. And yet they've turned their sights on you and me. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is part of this Dodd-Frank bill that was rammed through after Obamacare a few months later, which is an all-powerful bureaucratic entity. The revelations came in a hearing of the House Financial Services Committee, during which CFPB Director Richard Cordray was repeatedly pressed about federal officials rummaging around in the private financial affairs of millions of Americans. Notice we don't have Senate hearings on this stuff, because the clapping seals who support dictatorship, as long as it's their dictator, they're not going to look into abuses. They're not abuses. It's for the people. So listen to this Cordray, this fraud, this phony. Quote, "We're collecting aggregated information." Look how they talk. "Can you, Mr. Cordray, personally guarantee that the consumer information is 100% secure?" asks Representative Spencer Bacchus, Republican, Alabama. Cordray said he could not, but added that the Bureau attempts to safeguard any information we have about the American public. Later in the hearing, Bacchus remarked that the agency, or the Bureau, quote, "and NSA are in a contest of who can collect the most information." Cordray shot back, "I fundamentally disagree with that characterization." Who cares, you jerk? Your government's collecting your mortgage information, your tax information, your health care information, and your banking information. But don't worry, they're all for privacy rights when it comes to abortion. Hey, don't we have the sphere of privacy in the emanations and penumbras? Yeah, the sphere of privacy. Absolute privacy. Only if you're killing your baby. Other than that, no privacy. Now listen to this, and I've talked about this and written about this, but it's now coming home. So just listen to this. Congress's powers to oversee this bureau are limited, and you think to yourself, how the hell is that possible? The federal Dodd-Frank Act that created the bureau requires that the Senate confirm its directors, such as Cordray, and that the director testify before Congress twice a year, but Congress's authority stops there. The Bureau is part of the Federal Reserve, for which Congress similarly confirms top officials, but has no direct oversight. So what former Senator, that creep Dodd, and former Congressman Frank, that jerk, what they did is they built into this law protections against oversight of this entity, this Bureau, by the United States Congress. Remember we talked about Brave New World last week, and I read parts of it to you, just little segments? Oh, sure, you'll go through the motions of voting. You'll go through the motions of protesting. You'll go through the motions of doing all this thing, and we'll be said to live in a little D democracy. But you don't. And we're supposed to live in a little R republic. So this thing's over here, this monstrosity, this concoction that the last Democrat Congress created, violating your rights, collecting even more information on you. Folks, if you think your finances aren't known by the federal government, you are wrong. If you think your credit information isn't known by the federal government, you are wrong. If you think one of those little health issues you have isn't going to be known by the federal government, you are wrong. And keep in mind, it's under the Democrats where the power of this centralized government is out of control, collecting more and more of this information. And it is we, conservatives, constitutional conservatives, Reaganites, Tea Party activists, who are standing for civil liberties. We're not jumping up like clapping seals when the president says, and if Congress doesn't act, I will. We're going, whoa, 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 what the hell is he talking about? We're not jumping up and down, defending this monstrosity, this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I don't need a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. According to the Bureau's deputy director, the program mines credit card accounts maintained by 18 of the largest card issuers in the United States. So they're mining them, you see. In other words, they're getting your information. Absolutely unfriggin' believable. It's disgusting. And what's anybody going to do about it? Has John Boehner even talked about this? No. And don't dare ask him to talk about it after when happy hour starts. How about Mitch McConnell? Has he pulled enough marbles out of his mouth to talk about it? Not a word. How about our friends on our favorite cable network? Any of them talking about this? Are they going to do a Sunday show on this? Nah, not a word. Nothing. Any of their hosts talking? Nah, not a word. Nothing. So now we have the NSA, which was never supposed to have any role in domestic anything, under any circumstances. That's what the FBI's for. Collecting all kinds of phone call information. Absolutely essential they have it. Oh, okay. On us? Yes. You can't trust the people. Oh, okay. Oh, and your health care? We can't let you have subpar policies, you know. You're too stupid to pick your health care. Even though you're smart enough to vote for Obama, you're just too stupid to take care of yourself. So, you know, you get these three policies, sort of like Plato's Republic. We've got the platinum policy, the gold policy, the silver policy, and the bronze policy. Oh, but what if I want a different policy? You do what we tell you to do. We're going to take care of you. And not only that, your deductions, your deductible, way up. Sorry, premiums way up. But don't worry. There's at least 2 million people out there who are going to benefit from this. I know, but there's 310 million of us. Shut up! Oh, okay. Now, as for your mortgages and your credit cards, you're too stupid to know what information you need and what information you have. No, I'm not. I've been living a long time. Shut up. That's right. So we set up the special bureau within the Federal Reserve. It's so special, Congress can't even control it. Did you know that? Congress has no control over its budget whatsoever. It's in the law. Obama and the Democrat Congress did this for the people, for the middle class, for the working poor, you know. Really. And for minorities and same-sex couples. And they're collecting your mortgage information and your credit card information just to make sure, you know, your balances aren't too high, you're not out of control. Don't worry, just to take care of it. But I can do this myself. Shut up. Oh. What are you, a Tea Party right-wing nut job? What are you, opposed to government? What are you, an anarchist? Hey, what's wrong with you? No. It's just that there are limits to what the government should do. What are you, paranoid? You got something to hide? No, but it's nobody's business. Doesn't matter. We're here to help you. Didn't you hear Obama last night? Well, not really. Well, we got to change that too. I want you to remember this. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is gathering information on your mortgages, on your credit cards, on your bank information. And I don't want the government having all this information. And they have it. And they're sharing it one agency to the other. And you should be very, very concerned about this. They're not protecting us at all. And you should also know that the man in this article, this guy Cordry, he was one of the people Obama appointed without Senate approval. He was one of the people Obama appointed when he unilaterally declared the Senate out of session to violate the Appointments Clause of the Constitution. But the Republicans came back on their hands and knees in the form of Mitch McConnell. And they agreed with Chuck Schumer, who's always looking out for the people, that they would let a bunch of these people go through. If Harry Reid promised not to change the filibuster rule on appointments. And so McConnell agreed, and Schumer agreed, and Harry Reid said, of course I wouldn't do that. So Cordry goes through, He's voted on. He's a leftist, running an enormously powerful bureau that you never heard of before. And then what does Harry Reid do a few months later? He turns around and changes the filibuster rule on appointments. That's our boy Mitch McConnell. We got to work together, ladies and gentlemen. We got to work together and show the people that we can govern, because that's what the people want. A one-party system, a ruling class looking out for us, with more and more bureaus collecting information, making sure our lives are not subpar, that our balances are in line, we're not spending too much, just taking care of us. And of course, we get the minimum wage.